Is Harry Kane the most underrated footballer in the world? What's up, guys? Welcome back into the channel. I've been sitting on this for a few days. This past weekend, Harry Kane reached 500 goals in his career for Bayern Munich, and another impressive win for them. And it just got me thinking about how good of a goal scorer he actually is and just what a great player he is. And of course, it made me think about how much I miss watching him in the Premier League. And again, it brought up some old feelings about how annoyed I am that he doesn't play for Manchester United. Why Declan Rice and Harry Kane are not the linchpins of Manchester United at this very moment, I just don't know. It doesn't make any sense, and it's one of the big mistakes that Manchester United have made over the last decade. But anyway, this is just about Harry Kane. He's obviously absolutely crushing it over in Germany, which I guess people will say that's easy to do. It's Bayern Munich, you're playing in the Bundesliga. Of course he's going to crush it. But he's doing it at an insane level that very few others have been able to do it at. And he's continuing to thrive as he gets into his 30s. And I just I don't understand why he doesn't get enough credit. Because you look at his rap sheet. Harry Kane, 500 career goals now. 270 goal contributions in 320 games in the Premier League. That is absolutely unbelievable. He was consistently providing goals and assists every time he set foot in the field for Tottenham. 213 total goals in the Premier League. That's second all time, only behind Alan Shearer. He is a 3-time Premier League Golden Boot winner, and put that into extra context, he hit 30 goals twice and didn't win the Golden Boot because Mo Salah beat him out in 2017-18 with his 32 goals, and Erling Haaland beat him out in the 22-23 season with his 36 goals. So he could easily have 5, which would be the most all-time in the Premier League. And then we go over to his 3 seasons at Bayern. He's got 157 goal contributions in 131 games, 126 total goals. And then, of course, at England, 78 goals in 112 games. Far and away the most in an England shirt. He's got the most goal contributions at major tournaments, and he's just a superstar. Harry Kane is an absolute superstar, and yet we never ever hear about him when we talk. We hear so much talk about Wayne Rooney, how great he is. Harry Kane never seems to be mentioned in the same breath as Wayne Rooney. We hear so much talk about the best Premier League XIs. Harry Kane's name is never mentioned in those conversations. We talk often about the greatest player of each generation, and I feel like Harry Kane's name doesn't even get brought up then. You think of this generation, we talk the likes of Lewandowski or Karim Benzema or Mohamed Salah, and I feel like Kane just gets lost in the weeds there, which is just crazy. And it just all comes back to the fact that he did his best work at Tottenham Hotspur. That's just what it is. If he had made a move, or if he was playing at a bigger club in England, the level that he would be on, like, it would be impossible to not constantly compare him to Wayne Rooney, even though we probably should still do it because he was the one who surpassed Rooney in an England shirt in terms of the most goals all time for England, and he's done more at major tournaments for England than Wayne Rooney ever did. But in terms of just general standing in history, Harry Kane should be a lot higher. We should be having these conversations, him versus Rooney, because Harry Kane is quite a similar player to Wayne Rooney. Yes, he's not as physically gifted as Wayne Rooney. He's not as athletic as Wayne Rooney. But he could score every goal in the book just like Wayne Rooney could, except maybe the bicycle kick. That goal that Rooney got against Manchester City, I will admit, Harry Kane could not do that. But in terms of conventional goal-scoring methods, Kane could do it just like Rooney could. And his passing ability is close. Definitely, a conversation is worth having when it comes to passing ability. Rooney was a great passer. He was great for dropping deep and setting up teammates and linking play. And Harry Kane can do that as well. He can do pretty much all the great things that Wayne Rooney can do. I get there's just more of a feel about Wayne Rooney because he burst onto the scene so young, and then he did it at Manchester United, won those league titles, became the greatest goal scorer in Manchester United's history, and that just means more than what Harry Kane has done, unfortunately. That's just the way that it is. But when we talk about the greatest Premier League XIs of all time, it's just crazy that imagine if he was still in the Premier League right now. He would be right on the cusp of breaking Alan Shearer's record. If he would have already broken it by now. This is his 3rd season in the Bundesliga. He may have already beaten out Shearer's record if he was still in the Premier League, and Manchester United had the balls to go out and deal with Daniel Levy and gone and signed him. He might just be the top goal scorer in Premier League history right now, and he could be completely rewriting his place in history as well. And it just gets me thinking about the next few years. Obviously a World Cup coming up this year. England will be one of the favourites going into that tournament. Then we have a European Championships. Then, honestly, we have that World Cup in 2028. There's really no great English strikers that are on the scene right now that I would say are definitely going to take the mantle over from Harry Kane. So it would not be crazy to me if Harry Kane is still leading the line for England come the 2028 World Cup. But realistically, we're talking the 2026 World Cup as maybe his best chance at winning a major tournament with England as captain. And just think about how winning the World Cup as captain elevated Bobby Moore's place in history. Bobby Moore was obviously a super talented player, but he played in West Ham. Didn't win many league titles, didn't really play in the biggest competitions in Europe, yet he was consistently nominated for the Ballon d'Or for his performances for England, and he's consistently talked about one of the all-time great centre-backs because he was the captain of the one and only England team to win the World Cup, and they did it on home soil. So, I mean, that just winning World Cups can just put you into a different stratosphere compared to others. It's no different to Maradona. Like, it's crazy to think where Maradona might be if he hadn't won those 2 World Cups with Argentina, because he really didn't have the greatest club career compared to like some of the greats who've also won World Cups. When you think about your Lionel Messi's or your Zinedine Zidane's and those type of players, like Maradona he's very much considered one of the greatest of all time because of his success at World Cups. And that's like what I'm looking at, and that's what I'm hoping for Harry Kane. I would love it so much if he can lead England to a World Cup final or win a World Cup with England as captain. That would just elevate him, and that will when we start to get the real respect on Harry Kane's name. He's easily probably got 2, 3, maybe 4 years left at the top. He might even have some more in him. I don't think Harry Kane's a guy who's going to fade away quickly once he hits his mid-30s, because he doesn't rely on his physical attributes. He relies on his intelligence. And I think if he can add a World Cup and a Champions League to his resume before he calls it quits, yeah, winning Bundesligas is fine. I'm happy he's winning trophies. That's the start of it. But people don't pay too much attention to Bayern Munich winning the Bundesliga. But winning the Champions League, winning the World Cup, and just on the Champions League, he is the highest scoring English forward, or the highest scoring English player in Champions League history, another notch in his belt. But if he can just find a way to lead England to the World Cup, and then maybe the Champions League this year, maybe next year, Bayern Munich are always going to be in contention for the Champions League. Can he find a way to be a leading part of Bayern Munich winning another Champions League crown? And then let's just see where we're at. That's what Harry Kane can do it himself. I can talk about this, Spurs fans can talk about this, maybe even some England fans can talk about till they're blue in the face about Harry Kane. But until he really wins those big trophies, until he does that thing that only a few guys have done, he's never going to really have his rightful place in history, despite the fact that he could retire as one of the highest scoring players ever, one of the highest scoring players in the Premier League, one of the highest scoring players in the Bundesliga, one of the highest scoring players in the Champions League, in international football. He could retire with all of those accolades and still never really be talked about when we're talking about the best players of all time or the best forwards of all time. And that would be such a shame. I would love for Harry Kane to do it, and I'm all aboard now. I'm happy for England to go and do it now, because my big beef was that it was against Gareth Southgate, because I don't think he was a good enough manager, and I'm glad that he wasn't able to get his team over the line against any decent teams. But now they have a different manager who knows how to set up, who has the tactical nous to beat other teams that have the same sort of individuals in terms of the squad playing for him at his disposal. That's the difference that Tuchel's going to make, and I think Harry Kane can be that lead spark for them. I just hope he's fit. We saw those Euros, he was not fit. It's tough when you're playing long seasons and then it's demanded of you to keep on playing into the summer, especially when you're on the wrong side of 30. It's really tough to be able to do. I hope this tournament that Kane can be fit. There's obviously been arguments that he wasn't exactly 100% fit at the 2022 World Cup either. So this could be a crucial moment for him. Hopefully, like I'm saying, I want him to be competing in the Champions League and going deep in that, and maybe he can take some time off in the Bundesliga if Bayern can get comfortable into a comfortable enough position in that, and he can find a way to be healthy at this World Cup, because England have a great shot. There is no clear and absolute favourite at this World Cup. I know people talk about Argentina. I don't think this Argentina team is as good as other people think. Brazil, there's still those question marks there. Yes, Carlo's in there, but Do they have the all-round quality to win a World Cup? France, there's still some doubts about them. Who is involved in their best team? Are they at the end of a cycle, or is this another start? They've obviously been to the last two World Cup finals, winning one of them. And then like Germany, question marks there. And then you're like looking around and saying, who else is there? Who else is there that can definitely stop England? You talk maybe Spain. They just beat England in the Euros final. They're obviously going to be a tough team a tough nut to crack for England if it comes to that. But this is a really big chance for them. England are going into a World Cup with a manager that's capable of taking them all the way, with a squad that's capable of going all the way, and up against competition that is either at their level or below it. They are not going into this competition facing any teams that have a better squad than them, and I think this might be the time that they're able to go and do it on American soil. It would be amazing. I would love to see Harry Kane lead England to the World Cup, just so he can earn his rightful place in history. That's what this whole conversation is about. Harry Kane deserves his place in history. He deserves his time in the sun, and he deserves to be talked about as one of the greatest of all time. And if he can lead England to a World Cup, that's exactly where he will be. There will be no more conversations. We'll forget about Wayne Rooney for a while. We'll forget about Alan Shearer. We'll forget about all these other great English strikers that we've seen, and it would just be Harry Kane way up and above everybody. And I think that he absolutely deserves that. He stayed loyal to Spurs. He did all he could to bring Spurs to the top. Couldn't quite get them there. And now we're kind of seeing the fruits of why that wasn't possible. We hear Ange talking about their wage structure, and we see the struggles that they're having now that Kane is gone and Son is gone, and that kind of golden generation for them is kind of petering out, and we're seeing them back to being bottom half of the table team. Harry Kane was everything for Tottenham Hotspur. He was that difference maker for them, along with Heung-min Son. And it just shows that the impact that he has. And now he's gone off to Bayern Munich, and he's doing amazing things there. Hopefully he's going to win another league title this year, maybe even the Champions League. But the World Cup is the big one. That's the time for Harry Kane to make his name as an all-time great and the greatest English striker of all time. Come on, Harry. Let's get it done. But yeah, that's it for today. Just wanted to have a little rant. Just felt the need to talk up Harry Kane. He deserves it. There's not enough conversation about him. I haven't seen enough stuff in the world since he hit that tally of 500 contributions. You think of some other players when they've hit certain tallies, and the talk is all about them. I thought Harry Kane deserved a bit of shine, and just to hype him up and let's go. And Harry, let's see what you can do. You are the guy in my eyes. You have the talent to do it. But my God, what a World Cup could do for you in a historical sense. It can't even be quantified at this stage. It's too early to say. I don't want to start the chance of it's coming home. I don't want to be the first one to say it. I'm not English. I can't be that guy. But this could be the year, and this could be the difference maker to Harry Kane being considered the greatest English striker of all time, and just another one of the bunch. That's how big of a leap a World Cup win could take him. And not just a World Cup win, a World Cup win as captain. Okay, thanks guys for listening. Let me know in the comments, where do you think Harry Kane ranks all time? Do you think he is the best English striker of all time? Do you think he's the best Premier League striker of all time? Where does he compare to Wayne Rooney? Why is one better than the other? Let me know in the comments, and as always, like and subscribe for plenty more coverage here on Hand of Gaine.